Hello! We are on lesson 3.5 and we are talking about absolute value. Absolute value can be the easiest thing in the world if you let it be. So we're going to have the hole punches down at the bottom and we're going to start with absolute value facing normally. And it says, what is absolute value? Absolute value is the distance from 0. The symbol for absolute value is 2 bold bars, and then the number will be inside, such as this. The absolute value for 2, how many jumps is it away from 0? The answer is 2. What I always tell my kids is absolute value is always a positive number. If you want to put that at the top, is always a positive. Okay, just kidding. This number line, how many jumps is it? Absolute value of 2, start at 0, 1, 2 jumps, it's 2 jumps away from 0. Opposite integers are called inverse. That won't always show up on your test, but it's a good thing to know. If they're the opposite, they're called inverse. Integers and inverse. Okay. I'm going to rotate. Opposites turned into the same, which is absolute value. Okay, so -3, or the absolute value, do you see these bars? That means absolute value. Absolute value of -3 is 3 jumps away. It's 3 jumps away from 0. Let's do that on our thing. So let's start at 0. How can we get to -3? 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value is 3. +3, the absolute value of +3. So now we're trying to get over here. And it's 1, 2, 3 jumps away from 0. 3 jumps away from 0. Okay? Again, your answer, look, here's 3, here's 3. Here was a -3, here was a +3. But the absolute value answer is always going to be a positive number. Okay. Negative numbers, positive numbers, and absolute value. Again, it can be the easiest lesson in the world. You just take the whole number, or even a mixed number that's in the absolute value, and you just make it into a positive. So -1 is now 1. -4 is now 4. -15 is now 15. And -100 is now just 100. Like, very simple. I think people overthink it, and you just have to look at the number, and it doesn't need to matter whether it's positive or negative that's inside. You just look at the number, and you just write the whole number, not negative. Okay, never make a absolute value negative. Distance is a positive measurement. Keyword, positive. Okay, let's talk about football. Okay, people like football. You watch football. They're trying to progress like 10 yards at a time. Okay? Sometimes they get tackled and they go back and they say, oh, they went back 10 yards, or oh, they went back 3 yards. They didn't say, oh, there was -3 yards on the play. They never say it, because measurement or distance is always a positive number. Okay? So, some examples over here. We're going to do these way super fast. -2, you just change the number to 2. -10, you just change the number to 10. -5. You just change the number to 5. Here's a +9. You just leave it as a +9. 2, you just leave it as a 2. 5, you just leave it as a 5. I don't care if there's a positive or negative symbol inside the absolute values. You just write the number. I think this could be easy. All right. On the outside, I want you to do every single one of these examples on the outside because they are so fast and they are so easy. You saw how fast I just did these 6 examples, okay? You should be able to do these, 10 examples? Okay, we are now in your book on page 167, still on lesson 3.5, which is absolute value. The rest of the page on your book, 2 through 6, I feel like are super easy. It's the ones kind of that we practiced on our wheel. But these, they're just a little bit different because we have decimals and we have fractions. So I'm going to do 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm going to do them super fast. So pause the video and see if you can get the same answers as me before I give them to you. So the absolute value of 1.8 is just 1.8. The absolute value of -2/3 is just 2/3. I'm completely ignoring the positive and negative numbers. I'm just writing the number. Absolute value is that. The absolute value is 5 7/8. Number 13, and the ones that follow after that, 12 all the way through 16, it wants you to give them options. So it gave you the absolute value on number 13 of 5/6. It wants you to give you the 2 options of what the absolute value could have been, or what the problem could have been. The first one is 5/6 in absolute value. The second one is -5/6. Either one of those answers would have gotten you to this. So on 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, 5 problems, I want you to give both answers in the bars of what it could be. One should be positive, one should be negative, and they should have the absolute value bars on either side. Okay, we are back in our binders. You have already filled out this absolute value, but there is stuff on the back. This paper needs to be moved in your binder to the end of chapter 3, because we will fill this out when we work on when we're working on 3.10. So just move this paper to 3.10, and then you need to work on this paper right here. So the practice is find each value, use the number line to help you. If you need a number line, here is a number line for it to help you, even though I feel like we have a good idea of absolute value. So you're just going to write the absolute values here, and then circle the choices. Hey, look, that means multiple. So there will probably be multiple answers on these. So circle the choices that is greater than the absolute value of -6. So this answer just turns into a plain old 6. And all of these have absolute values. So in general, it's asking what number is greater than 6? Is 5 greater than 6? No. Is 6 greater than 6? No. Is 7 greater than 6? Absolutely. Is 9 greater than the number 6? Absolutely. So number 9, your answers would be C and D. Number 14, what numbers have an absolute value of 5? That's going back to like the problems in your book on number 12 through 16. Give the 2 absolute value choices that would equal 5. Okay, same with number 15. What values have the absolute value of 23? Give me the 2 options that give me an absolute value of 23. Okay, on the back of this page, again, we have our notes. I want you to take this page after you're done with it and put it at the end of chapter 3. All right, now that we've had a lot of practice, now it's time to get to your work. This is lesson 3.5. I only want you to do 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You don't need to do number 1. You don't need to work it on the number line. You only have to do this bottom row. Give me what the absolute values are. I am going to do an example of what I want you to do on the back. I only want you to fill out this chart. Completely ignore what's on the bottom of this. So, if you read the story up here, it says that Crystal Lake is at negative 60 feet. Okay, so they put an absolute value of negative 60 feet, and we know that that is actually just 60 feet. And then it adds 20 feet because it says the hillside overlook is 20 feet. So if I add these two numbers together, it's really going to look like this, 60 plus 20, and they want to know the whole feet, which would be 80. Just a helpful hint, if you want to put the absolute value of 60 on all of these, because it just wants to know what the distance is, distance above Crystal Lake, all of it is going to be negative 60. Okay, and then you have to add the feet that's given to you right here, 25, sorry. And then you have to add 60 plus 125 equals 185. And you're going to fill out this whole chart, and then you are done with lesson 3.5. Have a wonderful day. Be amazing. Talk to you later.